I'm Vinny Politan. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here on Closing Arguments. And I thought maybe, just maybe, we would be here tonight with a jury deliberating late into the evening, but it didn't happen. The jury went home. They only deliberated for a day, so it's not. They haven't been deliberating a long time on this case yet. But we do know what is looming, right? Thanksgiving and the holiday is looming, but the jury will be back tomorrow. But here's a question I have for you, and I don't know how many of you at home are baseball fans who follow a game, but when you get to the late innings, you need to come in and close the game, and they have relief pitchers that they call closers that come in and just lock it down, right? They throw that last pitch, the last strike, and the victory is theirs for their team. And today, what we saw inside the courtroom with the prosecutor, Linda Dunikowski, delivering her final rebuttal argument, it was one of those moments where an opportunity for her to just lock it down. And I was reading a lot of comments today on social media, a lot of response from you, the 13th juror, saying, wow, she really brought it today and was able to kind of put all those pieces together for the prosecution. So tonight, that's my first question, really. Did she close it out for prosecutors? Take a look at that final rebuttal closing argument.
Now, in this case, the defendants have raised an affirmative defense. And what does that mean? An affirmative defense means, hey, even if you think we really did these things, because the evidence is sufficient to say, yes, we did do these things, the 4 felonies in the indictment and the murder, hey, we have an affirmative defense which justifies us doing that. For the murder, it's self-defense. For the other charges, it's citizen's arrest. So here's the thing. You find they didn't commit a citizen's arrest. That's not what they were doing. Under the law, they didn't meet the criteria. Okay, and I want to remind you guys, ignorance of the law is no excuse. It's not like, well, they were probably mistaken. You can't be mistaken about the law. If you're going to take the law into your own hands, you better know what the law is. So if you find they were not doing a citizen's arrest under the legal standard, okay, the judge is going to give you, well then, it takes it out of self-defense for the homicide, and that means they're guilty on all the charges. You can't base an arrest on gossip alone. Facebook does not alone give you probable cause to go arrest somebody. Rumors in the neighborhood do not give you probable cause alone to go and arrest somebody. That's not what immediate knowledge is. What crime are we talking about that they thought he had committed? Was it clear to you at all, based on their closing arguments, what they were talking about? All right. Well, it can't be October 25th, 2019, because Ahmaud was on the dock, and he didn't take anything. What do we have? Well, we don't even have criminal trespass, because criminal trespass is when you enter on the property of someone else to do an unlawful act. All right, you decide. Did he enter on to 220 Satilla Drive on the dock to commit an unlawful act? Well, go ahead and look at the video. Didn't touch any of that stuff. Didn't steal any of that stuff out on the dock. Wandered around and looked around on the dock. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing. This isn't about whether these 3 men are good people or bad people. That's not what this is about. It's about responsibility. It's about holding people accountable and responsible for their actions. When they do something like this, they have to be held accountable and responsible. Nobody gets a free pass. The law basically says if you commit the crime, you're going to be held responsible. And ladies and gentlemen, when you come back with a guilty verdict on all the charges, this isn't saying somebody's a good person or a bad person. What you're saying is, you know you committed the crime. Now we know you committed the crime too. They know what they did. It's not like they don't know what they did. They know exactly what they did, and they know why they did it. It's not a mystery to them. When you come back with your guilty verdict, all you're doing is telling them, we know what you did too. And we're going to hold you responsible for it. Because guess what you did? You turned this young man into that young man. That's what you did. For absolutely no good reason at all.
I'll be honest with you, a former prosecutor, that was one part of the job that I loved, was you get the final word in front of the jury. You can say things and the defense, they can't respond. So you get that last word, you get that advantage because you carry that burden into the courtroom. So you've got to close it out. Let's bring in Court TV legal correspondent Julie Janae, who's in Brunswick, Georgia tonight. No verdict tonight from this jury. There were times, there were moments tonight when we thought maybe. So what was the feel that we got here from this jury as deliberations ended tonight down in Brunswick?
Oh, Vinny, they were so quiet the entire day. We didn't hear a peep from them, not about food or about a break or about exhibits, no notes until the end of the day. And the judge said, well, it's his typical course of business that he checks on the jury around 5 or 6 o'clock to see if they want to go home, if they're close to a verdict. If not, he sends them home. And he said he didn't want to force them to keep deliberating. The foreperson came in and she said they were in the process of reaching a verdict. The judge said, do you want to go home, take a break, and come back tomorrow? And she said we'd probably benefit from that. But then she, almost as quickly as she made that statement, then said they did want to continue deliberating. That's the moment where we thought maybe we're going to get a Tuesday night verdict. But then the jury did opt about 30 minutes later to go home for the night and come back. So not sure what the back and forth was for, but that is all we heard from this jury the entire day.
Did the judge offer him any food tonight? I mean,
he did not include that in his comment to them. It was really, are you close to a verdict? If so, I'll give you some more time. You can go into the evening. If not, I'm sending you home so you can come back tomorrow. Okay.
You can read this a million different ways, and we'll bring in our think tank a little bit to talk about that. Let's talk about this closing, final rebuttal closing argument by Linda Dunikowski. Powerful. And yes, you have the advantage because they can't respond. But from my perspective, she took advantage of that and was kind of in a good groove today.
She really was. And the timing wasn't just on the state side in the sense that they get to go last and have the final word, but they were the only thing that this jury heard from today. And she spent so much time on her rebuttal case. This jury didn't get the case until close to lunch. She was the entirety of what they heard, and she went over everything so thoroughly that I can imagine some jurors having to go back in their notes to remember what the defense said yesterday, because Linda Dunikowski just went over every possible issue again in her rebuttal.
So let's talk. They're allowed to take notes during the closing arguments in this case.
Yes, they were allowed to take notes. I will point out that Linda Dunikowski told them at the beginning of closing arguments, you don't have to furiously write down the law because you'll get those instructions back with you. And when I was in the courtroom, I didn't see a lot of note-taking. I really just saw one woman who was taking a lot of notes. I think she's the foreperson, Vinny. I heard her voice today. I believe it's possible that she is the one. But other than that, these jurors were really just taking everything in and not taking notes.
Okay, let's get a little bit of reaction tonight from our think tank. Joining us tonight in Atlanta, Georgia, criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor Noah Pines; in Seattle, Washington, trial attorney Ann Bremner; and in New York, former senior homicide prosecutor Bernarda Villalona, all with us tonight. All right, let's start with Noah. I'm not going to start with you. We've got two ladies. We go ladies first. Noah, you know the rules. First. You know the rules, Noah. Ann Bremner, your thoughts tonight. That this jury saying, hey, I think we're working towards a verdict, and then not offered any food, not offered any dinner, and then thrown in the towel 30 minutes later.
Well, I think it sounds like they're close to a verdict, don't you think, Vinny? I mean, if maybe there were one or two that said, let's sleep on it. There's always a juror that wants to sleep on it, I think, and that's probably what you had here. Not offering them food, that's kind of unusual. When I was a prosecutor, we would keep jurors till midnight, if that's what they wanted to do. But you generally would hope they get fed, but that wasn't the case here. Maybe that's why they went home. But it sounds like they're close.
Yeah, I'll tell you, if it was me and we're working late and there's no offer of food, I'm going home. I'll come back tomorrow. I need to eat. Bernarda Villalona, your thought. Bernarda, tonight, who's sleeping with one eye open tonight, prosecution or defense?
The defense is, because I think the prosecution brought it so hard and were so on fire in terms of the rebuttal that there's no way that the jury will come back so quickly with an acquittal. So I definitely think there's going to be a verdict tomorrow, and I think that verdict is going to come before lunch, and that verdict is going to be one of guilty, because the prosecutor, she bought the fire. She bought the heat today.
No, Pines, you've been on both sides in Georgia, prosecuting, defending. Your thoughts about this closing argument, the power, the advantage that a prosecutor has, especially when today all they hear is you, and then they get the case.
Yeah, well, Vinny, when I started as a prosecutor, the defense actually got the closing argument if they didn't introduce any evidence. Of course, when I became a defense attorney, the law changed, and now the state gets the last word. And the last word is really important. If you think of it like a boxing match, it's kind of like when somebody's in the corner and you just start pummeling, left, right, left, right, left, right. And that's kind of what Linda did today with the evidence in this case and the law. And, of course, the defense can't do anything. They can't even put their hands up and block it. They just got to take it, which is really difficult.
Yeah, Ann Bremner, as I'm looking at this case and short deliberation, long deliberation, we all know what's happening on Thursday. We know what's happening on Thursday. It is Thanksgiving. Is that a realistic factor in all of this? Through the years, we get so many Friday verdicts. So Wednesday is kind of like a Friday tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Which means I think they're going to come back tomorrow. And I agree. I think it's going to be guilty and fast. I mean, the prosecutor, she hit a home run in her rebuttal closing. No question. It was like a call to arms. It was just, pure perfection. That's what they're bringing in their ears. They're not going to remember what the defense talked about. It's not a strong defense case in any event. And with Thanksgiving, they don't want to come back, especially in a case that's so high profile.
Bernardo, when I was practicing as prosecutors, we tended to not want to try cases around the holidays because people are, they're in a much more giving mood, a forgiving mood as well. Do you think that plays into this at all? It's Thanksgiving Eve. Everyone's going to be getting together with family and friends. And when these jurors are gathering with their family and friends, you know what they're going to be talking about.
So in this case, you're not going to get a holiday verdict. You're not going to get a Christmas verdict, a Thanksgiving verdict where the defendants are actually acquitted. And I think the reason why is because the prosecutor was very meticulous in this case, in the sense of she knew it could be a possibility. So she said, it's not about whether the defendants are good guys. It's about holding them accountable for their actions on February 23rd, 2020. It's about acceptance of responsibility. And in terms of that, I think when she emphasized that to the jury is going to just simply focus on the facts and applying the facts to the law, because at the end, what did the prosecutor show? This is who Ahmaud Arbery was on February 23rd, 2020. And this picture with him lying on the ground is what these defendants did to him. And that's what you're here to judge.
Okay, we're going to take a break, but Noah Pines, stay on the edge of your seat, because out of the box, I'm coming to you, because I believe the prosecutor may have done something today that could potentially compromise a guilty verdict by this jury. But I'll let Noah Pines, Mr. Georgia, give us the final word on that. We'll be right back.